Our next inductee is Tom Moehn. To present Tom's Hall of Honor plaque is friend and former teammate Greg Higdon.
Tom Moehn was a 4-year letter winner for the dominant men's swimming and diving team in the 1970s and put together one of the best individual seasons in team history in 1975-76. Originally from Minneapolis, Moehn earned all-conference accolades every season during his 4 years and helped lead the Mustangs to 4 straight conference championships. He earned all-conference honors in 4 different events in each of his 4 seasons. Moehn was one of the best, not only in the conference, but on a national level in the 50-yard freestyle. He placed 14th in the event at the 1973 NAI Championships before earning an 8th place finish at both the 1974 and 75 NAI Championships. As a senior co-captain in 1975-76, Moehn earned NAI All-American honors by placing 2nd in the 50-yard freestyle at the NAI Championships. Moehn was undefeated in the event all season until that final race at the National Championships. He was also a member of the 800 freestyle and 400 medley relay teams that finished 6th and 7th place respectively to help SMSU finish 6th at the 1976 NAI Championships, the program's highest finish ever.
Please welcome the newest member of the Mustang Hall of Honor, Tom Moehn.
Congratulations.
Thank you so very much.
Welcome up to the stage. Well, our first question we've kind of asked all is, it's always great stories of how you chose Southwest and going back out of there, Tom, coming from the Twin Cities. How did you come to choose Southwest State at the time?
Well, we only have about a half hour.
Okay, yes.
I want to say first, I'm having crib notes here.
No problem.
The printer in the queue at work still has my normal documents. And I also have what's called Swiss cheese memory. My daughter inherited it from me, so that's why I have to have some crib notes here. I got lots of letters. I got lots of letters from colleges around the area. Mowerson from University of Minnesota. Lee Albrecht from Bemidji State actually came down at the state meet my senior year and tried to recruit me, but I was more interested in chasing somebody else during that event. I got information from Eau Claire, but it wasn't what really got me interested in Southwest State is that Coach Don Palm pulled me out of class one day. I was in English class, and all of a sudden the phone rang, and the teacher said, yeah, he's here. And Tom, you're supposed to go down to the principal's office or the coach's or whatever. You go, okay. And there he was. And I thought that's pretty cool, getting pulled out of class back when I was a senior. He had a gentle demeanor about him. He had the interest, strong handshake. And so my dad and I came down here to visit the college. And I can't remember if it was I think it was the trip that we came down here first. I think it was in Morton that we came through. We had a flat tire. And we spent about a half hour getting that repaired. It was really cool that when we came down here, they were practicing a theater production, I think the summer school, and we sort of got sat in on what behind scenes happened at a theater production. And I've never seen that before, and so I was very interested in that. And the reason I came here was because it wasn't a suitcase college. We were far enough away from Minneapolis where I lived. And my father had asked me, what about the University of Minnesota? Because I had 2 sisters, older sisters, that had gone there. And Mowerson had tried to leverage that experience back with me. I wanted to be away from home. I wanted to be on my own, living, as all of us do, away from our parents. And Coach really gave me that warm feeling when I got down here. I wasn't just a number or somebody that he had to fill a roster. I really felt that I had the that he had the coaching experience that I enjoyed having in my high school career.
Yeah, that's great. Coach Palm, you mentioned we know I had a powerhouse program here at Southwest, and you guys had such great success, Tom. I suppose the competition in practice was probably just as hard, if not harder, than some of the meets. Can you just talk about that, how in practice every day, how your teammates pushed you and everybody to be better every day?
Well, it's a good question, Kelly, because I really didn't feel that our teammates were really pushing us in the respect that our times proved how we would be accepted. And the biggest problem that we had was banging hands, getting kicked in the face, goggles coming off, all the activities that happen when you're in 2 hours in the pool and you get kicked around. And for those that have done any swimming, competitive or otherwise, you can't breathe all the time. And so there's this fear that you're going to swallow water or you're going to get tired, or what do you do? And, my good friend Jim Norton would stand up a lot. Take a rest.
Yes, that's right.
we had the most fun during the meets when you talk about competitive. We sometimes coach for something in giggles would put us in an event that we weren't used to doing, and so we'd try to sort of psych out our fellow swimmer.
Mm-hmm.
I was a sprinter, and sometimes I got put into an event that I wasn't supposed to, and so I went bat out of Hades.
Yep.
Which screwed them up. And at the end of the race, you heard about it.
Yep, I bet. Tom, trust me, I've heard a lot of great stories over the years from the swimming and diving athletes during their times here, and I'm sure they'll continue the stories later on tonight. But what were some of those great memories? Afterwards, Tom has a PowerPoint that we can show his teammates when this is done. But the memories you guys had competing and road trips, living in Marshall, what were some of those things during your time here that stick out to you?
Well, there's a ton of it, and I want to say with Coach Ekstrom here, not that he's the diving coach, but I would say this anyway. But the diving people that were the competitors, always we could count on them to finish 1 and 2 in the meets, which really helped us as the swimmers to be able to be more successful because we had that reliability. And they were a known factor. Other things that you didn't know that was going on in swimming was, what happens at the end of the wall? Do you make the flip turn properly? Everybody knows I couldn't. How would you do in backstroke or fly or whatever event it was? How conditioned were you for the 800 or the 200 or whatever? The divers were always a consistent factor, and we really, really appreciate that. But as far as things that happened, and I will keep this
clean.
Clean.
All right. Thank you.
So I got one sentence here, so I can keep it clean.
Okay.
But we had Kim Kavanda jumping on a bed and kickboxing the ceiling at a hotel room. Back then, we all had station wagons that we had to corral around the whole area. Whether or not it was out the Air Force Academy or Chicago, we were in 5 to 6 station wagons. And you find out there's certain things you don't want to do in a station wagon. They had the window that went down. Well, sometimes the driver would not want to stop the car.
Huh.
And so what do you do? Well, it didn't work. You also find out that parakeets in your dorm keep you awake at night, strange hours. And then there was the dreaded, which I felt was dreaded. There's other people that didn't think it was too dreaded, but the run from Coach Palm's house here. Several of us made it. Several of us made it with help, four-wheel vehicle help. And one of the things that we tried to avoid, and I should say not we tried to avoid, but we always encouraged our good friend Greg Higdom-Hogger to stay away from the drifts over the shoulders. They do pull your car into the ditch. I think we really clicked as a team, and we had a lot of mates. We had a lot of sleeping partners. Back then, I don't know what it is like now, but you had to bunk up two at to bed. And as the old saying in John Katie, those weren't pillows. Auger.
Yeah. Tom, your senior season, just, incredible senior season. You go to the national championships, you finish second. Kind of the same question I asked Martha. Did you know that season, your senior year, that your goal was a national championship? Did you think you had that ability to do that?
It's a good question that you asked me that, Kelly. I was thinking over it, and I was trying to think back what it was like back in the 76 season, 75, 76 season. And I remembered something that Swimming World called me a dark horse and possibly a person that could take the 50-yard freestyle. That gave me really, somebody outside our little circle here recognizes that I might be able to do something, and that sort of set the tone for me. I didn't have any losses, and I want to say this respectively. I didn't have any losses all season, my senior year, to American competition. I did lose a dual meet from a team that came down from Canada that swam at Bemidji State the night before, and the times weren't very impressive. But there was a ringer that came down because he was going to get some competition, and I was unprepared for it. I don't know. It was just looking at preparing for the year. It was my senior year. I did the same thing when I was in high school. I was undefeated until I got into the state meet. It was just a very exciting year, and a lot of the camaraderie that we built up as a team, we brought it together, and so it was push everybody that year.
Yeah, we've your coaches, Coach Palm, Coach Ekstrom, tremendous ambassadors, not only for the swimming diving program but the university in general. What did those gentlemen mean to you in your program?
Well, it was the early 70s, and there's a transitional from rock and roll to disco and Earth 2. Who remembers Earth 2 around here? And as we said before, we had the 2001 theme. It sort of gelled everything to come to frame a mind of as a unit and for one purpose. The music came on. We're here for a purpose. Get ready. And so it really put us in a frame of mind that we weren't studying for school. We weren't worried about lunches, women, or whatever. We were there to swim. And it was a time to do well. And that it's helped me the rest of my life because Don Palm had a little I don't know, saying or a little framed thing says there's always hope. And I've carried that throughout my entire life. There's always hope for things. And to deal with the unexpected and make something different of yourself.
That's great. And last question, Tom, what keeps you busy today in your day-to-day life?
I work for the state of Minnesota. My good friend Greg Higham just retired here last August from the state of Minnesota. I've been working there for a little over 4.5 years as a business analyst. What I do there is I'm a project manager that works with people that need to get things done at IT related, and I find out requirements. I married to a woman, Olga. She was unable to be here. She's had some medical difficulties, and her son was also unable to go. I've got my lovely children, their spouses, and a couple of grandchildren. I've got some excellent people, Nort, Hogg, Binder, Jane, Gary, Balloon, and Craig.
Yes.
I had a little bit of mental block. Again, the leadership with Con and Coach Palm was, people have experienced it. We experienced it on a daily basis, the encouragement that they gave us.
That's great. Tom, congratulations. Our latest inductee, Tom Moehn.
Thank you.
Great job.